All right, guys, Dan Valamont here with Fanatic Wrestling. Today we're at the studio here in Beverly, Massachusetts, and I am joined by Wade Schalles, amazing wrestler, one of the greats, somebody that I grew up idolizing as a kid when I was learning wrestling. Just a little bit about Wade, if you don't know, he is a distinguished member of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. If you've ever been there in Stillwater, Oklahoma, great place to check out. Also, he is very good at something that I was awful at my entire wrestling career, and that's pinning people. Wade holds the United States record for most pins. He holds the world record for most pins, and he actually has a Guinness World Record for most pins. And I believe I heard it from him himself that he's pinned the most national champs, most world champs, correct? I have pinned no national champs or world champs, and he probably had more pins in his collegiate career than I had in 27 years of wrestling. So with that in mind, the techniques we went over over the past couple of days with Wade was obviously a lot of stuff focusing on pins, stuff from the top position, a lot of tilts, a lot of pinning combinations, how to secure the fall, a lot of stuff that he kind of created on his own and tweaked some positions in order to be able to get these pins. And then we also went over a bunch of tricks and slicks on our feet, and altogether this is going to end up being 2 instructional videos. But right now we're just going to get a little bit of a preview of what to expect from these upcoming videos. So, Wade?
Ready to go?
Absolutely.
All right, what we're going to do here is what I call Clemson Roll. Developed this, made it up, named it when I was a head coach at Clemson University quite a few years ago now. Anyhow, it's just a roll for where you get back points. Referee's position, chop, get the guy's wrist. Once you have the wrist, you got back points. That's the hardest part of the move. The hardest part is just getting the chop and getting the wrist. Once you get the wrist, the hand that did the chopping goes behind. Goes behind the near leg, not inside, behind the near leg. Then you put your face where you really probably don't want it to be, and you come out to a right angle, so you're forming the letter T with his body and your body. Chop, hand behind, facing the crotch, high leg over, get a right angle, and then he ends up rolling, and from here, okay, keep the leg in the air, the hand went behind the leg, goes down to a 2-on-1, and you stay here, and the most important part of this is keeping your head 3 hours. If his head's pointed at 12, my head's pointed at 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock's over here. I get a right angle with my head versus his head, and I keep his leg in the air. It's not a great pinning combination, but you can hold him here for 3-4 months if you're really good at it, okay? And you get a lot of back points. When he gets out of this, if he rolls out of that, you just change hands, and you can back out with a ball and chain. We go to work on a ball and chain. But you can get a series of back points out of this. Clemson Roll is easy to do, and when I teach this, I tell my kids, how many people have seen this? They raise a hand. No, I haven't seen this at all. So I say, okay, now I want you to fight me 100%. Don't sit out, switch, stand up, just say, I'm not going. And I can chop, get his wrist, and I say, okay, ready, begin, guys. And they're able to take the guy over and get back points when he knows what's going to happen, he knows how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and he's supposed to fight 100%, and the other guy goes 50%, he still gets them over. It's really an easy way of getting back points. And we're going to talk about what do you do when you get out of there, or maybe not.
Yeah, so guys, one question I had for Wade when he was teaching this is I had learned this move when I was a little bit younger. I never really got it, and it's probably because I was doing it incorrectly, and maybe I learned the wrong way. But if you notice, Wade was coming behind the near leg as opposed to going through the legs and hooking on my far leg, which is how I learned how to do it, which again, why I never really had confidence in doing it. But why are you going behind the near leg as opposed to going through the legs?
Well, what I try to do in the next 2 tapes that we've done here is I try to take things that we already know take for granted, and I try to figure out ways that things go wrong and how do you improve them. So a lot of this stuff either I created myself and named and made popular, like the spladle. That's something I made. The Clemson Roll is another one. Lazy man cradle. I got about 5 or 6 things that I've made, and other things that I've just made some a significant improvement on. And this is one of them. I had the same problem Dan has. I didn't like going in across there, push the leg. Because if you'd sprawl at that moment, you get caught on your back, you tried to move, but now you're ending up bridging, and that's not a good thing. Okay, so I figured if I go behind the near leg and he sprawls, I can come back out after making a mistake, but I've never seen anybody get caught in a Clemson Roll, get stopped. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The only way to stop a Clemson Roll is for him to sprawl flat. Okay, but you spend all your time as a coach telling your kid how to build back to a base. You never teach them how to sprawl and go flat on the belly, so they don't even think to go down. So you don't get caught in a Clemson Roll, but if you would, you can get back to your belly. So when you chop, if you put your hand here and you miss it, now you're stuck under here and you're bridging until you get back out. The chances are you've lost a reversal and back points. If you put your hand behind the leg here, When I go to here, he can sprawl all he wants, but he's not sprawling on me. I can use both hands to pull myself right back up. So why I go behind the near knee is that. And then when I come out of that, it already puts me at a right angle. If you go to a right angle before you roll. So when you roll, you come out at a right angle with your head 3 hours away from his, which keeps him on his back. A lot of times if you go between the legs, when you roll, I'm going parallel here. I start parallel with him. When I push here, it forces me to stay parallel. So when I roll on through, when we land here, we're still, don't go so far yet. We're still parallel. I have a hell of a time trying to keep him on his back to get back points. I've got to get back and get back to a right angle. And that takes too long. As a matter of fact, usually you don't. So if you go to a right angle when you start, by putting the hand back and high leg over, before you pull him over, you start with a right angle, you flop over, you finish with a right angle, and keeps him on his back, and while we go behind the near leg.
So that's a great answer to that question. I learned a lot from that response, and I also learned a lot, and I actually knew the answer because I watched the instructional already because I was live here for it. Guys, if you like this technique, please, again, stay on the lookout for 2 instructional videos. If they're not out yet, they should be out very soon. But again, a lot of really unique twists on some moves that you already know, and then a whole bunch of things, again, to help you get to that next level as far as not just winning by points, going out there and getting the fall, getting off the mat, making it a lot easier on yourself and not having to stay out there for the full however long, 6, 7, 20 minutes that I would always wrestle for all my matches. So again, guys, stay on the lookout for the videos from Wade Schalles. They should be coming out soon if they're not out already. Also, make sure you check out our stores, fanaticwrestling.com, bjjfanatics.com. If you don't already follow us on social media, make sure you join our Facebook group, like our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, and you saw this video on YouTube. Check out all the other free content we have on YouTube. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you soon.